Good morning. It was dark coming home last night, and it is dark this morning as I head into the office. But good morning, everyone. It's good to have you here again, and we'll run the intro right after this to make it a podcast, and we'll be right back. So last night I was having a cool little discussion with a friend of mine online, and they were discussing good morning, Kurt. Dude, you never sleep either. Kurt and I need to get online together and have a geek out fest on technology. So anyway, so I pulled the trigger on G Suite, by the way, and built out a bunch of aliases, and so it'll be interesting today. I got a couple ideas to mess with today. So anyway, but I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he talked about how he regretted some things in his life. And regret is 6 a.m. here, so 8 a.m. in Florida for Kurt, I believe. So anyway, he was talking about regret and how he regretted not doing this and not doing that, and it brought me back to regret's really not something that is, I can't for the life of me find anything that's helpful with regret. And I was thinking as to why. I'm not one that spends much time thinking about anything that I regret. And I remember back to high school. Well, there's a lot of things. I got that a lot growing up. Is, if you do that, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. And I remember thinking, I'm just not going to. I don't want to be the kind of person that regrets stuff. And so, I almost hit somebody. It's dark. So anyway, who wears black, head to toe black, running around and doesn't use crosswalks? Come on, folks. Anyway, so I was in high school, and they did this mandatory, ridiculous run through of graduation, which, I mean, you get up and you walk across and you stop for a picture and you keep walking in a goofy dress with a goofy hat on, right? I mean, how hard is this? And so I couldn't understand the big deal, why we are going to have to take time out of our day as seniors to go and do this. It just seemed ridiculous, this dress rehearsal. And so I don't want to go. I wanted to do something else. I can't remember what it was. Probably hang out in the library and read. I don't know. I was one of those guys. So I went to the principal and said, look, actually it was the vice principal. I went to him and said, hey, this whole thing seems ridiculous to me. I'm not, and that's is the third time I've used ridiculous. So I do not want to participate in this dress rehearsal. Can I just skip it? And he's like, no, it's mandatory. I'm like, this is dumb. And so I said to him, what if I'm not coming to graduation? I mean, that was the bright idea in my head. I'm like, if I don't go to graduation, then why should I have to practice it? And he said, what do you mean you're not going to come to graduation? I'm like, I'm not. And then it seemed like a great idea in my head. I'm like, you know what? It's brilliant. I'm not coming to graduation. And he said, well, you have to come to graduation. And, as soon as somebody tells you have to, I'm like, I don't have to come to graduation. I'm not going to come to graduation. So I don't want to do the walkthrough. And anyway, then he said to me once again that phrase, if you don't come to graduation, you will regret it. I'm like, what? Putting on an orange dress, the colors of the school are orange and blue, which in high school is ridiculous, but for the Denver Broncos is awesome. But that's fourth time ridiculous if you count. So I told him I wasn't coming. I wasn't going to do graduation. So then he threatened to not give me my diploma, which, I mean, you knew that was silly. I did the work. You have to graduate. So I didn't go. I ended up going and spending the night with my parents. They took me to dinner, which was great, and had a nice evening with them. And I have looked back on that experience. Now, I didn't go to, I enjoyed it so much I didn't go to my college graduation. I skipped all kinds of things. Big rooms of people all packed together. Chances are pretty good I'm not going to show up. Not my favorite thing. But this whole concept, this whole idea of regret, oh, we've got something? Gary talks about regret in his material specific to visiting people in a retirement home. Very common thing. Yeah, that's an excellent point, Kurt. So there are a lot of people who get they get to the end of their lives, they talk about regret and things they could have done differently and all of that. And I will say I think that regret when it comes to being an entrepreneur is one of the least helpful things, and that it keeps us from taking action. This idea that somehow or another if you do one thing and it doesn't work out, you're going to regret it, or if you try this and you should have tried that, or I just think that regret is something that sometimes reduces people's ability to move forward, when often, say for example like in Gary Vee, people talk about using regret to try to motivate people. Talk about these people at the end of their lives who regret not doing this, not doing that, and how somehow or another that will motivate them to, take action. And I don't know, it's never worked that way for me. You will regret it has never been motivationally acceptable to me. And I don't know. Everything in life builds upon itself, and each one of us is on a unique journey to learn through different experiences, and how we react to those experiences and how those experiences change us to turn into the type of person we'll become. And that is always unique. And from a unique place comes the most impressive and wonderful solutions. So it isn't about regret. It is a little bit about making sure that we take action and what that takes. But I think regret goes away when we decide, hey, I'm on a unique journey. This journey is mine and mine alone. And through this unique journey, whatever it may be and whatever comes of it, I can become somebody who sees problems differently than anybody else. And from that perspective, from that place, I can solve problems in a unique way that nobody else can. And it's through that unique approach to solving problems where entrepreneurship gets so very cool and so very exciting, because me choosing to not walk at graduation gave me a perspective that everybody who chose to walk at graduation has differently than mine. My whole life to that point was different than theirs. I chose to do that differently than a bunch of people who did walk. That changed my perspective. Can I quantify that? No. But I accept that as a decision I made to become the unique person that I am. And I think regret goes away when we just decide to accept the decisions we've made and to accept the person that we're becoming for what it is. And then be comfortable with the fact that those decisions have created a unique creature, and from that perspective, we have this opportunity to come up with unique solutions and look at problems differently than anybody else has ever looked at them. And to come at these problems with experiences and with knowledge that nobody else has. And that we might be the person that then provides the solution that only we could have come up with. And that's the important thing. And so regret then becomes regret is impossible once we accept this idea of allowing ourselves to become exactly who we become, and celebrating that makes us different. That makes us unique. That gives us a whole different perspective, one that nobody else is going to have. Regret is not helpful. I promise. I want everybody to pledge with me right now that if when you are in a nursing home or when you are on your deathbed, there is no regret. There is essentially just a feeling of, my life was uniquely my own. I chose to live it, and I chose to learn from it, and I chose to become the person that I am. And then I'm going to take whatever I have right now and move on to the next life and be ready for the next phase. And that's it. As entrepreneurs, I don't see how regret can be a motivator. That it just instead the mindset needs to be, I am becoming so unique that I am increasing the opportunity, the potential, the possibility that I am going to come up with a unique solution that nobody else can come up with, and see it this way. And there's been a number of times in my life where I've seen that happen. There's been so many different times in my people I know, super successful people that I know, who have come up with solutions who would not have got there had they not chosen to do different things that may have not turned out the way they wanted it to. But being accepting of that and allowing ourselves to become whatever that person is so imperative, is so important. And so I hope that from the Institute of Eternal Perspective, from the Institute of Eternal Permission, is that what I called it? I can't remember. I used to give certificates out to people, giving them permission. Entrepreneurial permission, I believe it was, right? The Institute of Entrepreneurial Permission. So, then, as the director of the Institute of Entrepreneurial Permission, let's all just take time to say, look, I don't need regret. I don't need permission to go out and be successful and get things done. And I hope that you'll do that today. Hope you have a great day. I plan to have a great day. It's Friday, right? That means one day until the weekend, right? Sunday. So anyway, have a great day. Kurt, thanks for joining me, bud. I will reach out to you a little bit later. Let's hop on. Let's do a show. That'd be fun. Kurt Miller and me on a show talking technology. That'd be fun. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a great day. Shoot me any comments, any questions. I would be happy to discuss them. And until next time, have a good day. See ya.